that you are all here this morning or this evening or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. So I'd love to have a shout out from everybody. Just let me know where you're from. Give me a shout out. As you know, we just wait for a few more people to arrive and we can get started. Hi from Canberra. Hi, Blue Mountains. Beautiful. Good morning to you from the Blue Mountains. And we're going to get started in a few minutes, but whilst we are waiting, I'd love for everybody also, if you want to just say where you're from, if you've had any experience with the Akashic records, if this is something absolutely new to you, perhaps what's, interests you, just let me know before we dive right in this today. Hi from California. Awesome, Amal. Sydney, Sutherland. Yay. Limited experience. No problem, Leanne. It's very exciting to be here with you all. And I absolutely have to say that I feel like during this time where we have so much unrest in the world, these opportunities to unify, these opportunities to be able to become into this unity consciousness together, have these opportunities to really learn how to do that is so much more vastly important. So from Melbourne, Victoria, hi, Sarah. You're an energy. Let me just get that for you. You're an energy worker, academic tutor. Oh, cool. Beautiful. Oh, wow. I absolutely love that. Accessing the records when they go into storytelling mode. Amazing. That really is exciting. Thrilling to hear it being used in that way. And I can absolutely see that. Yeah, absolutely. When we are really channeling from a higher source, we really are in the Akasha. So yes, it's just beautiful to be here to learn how to come together. I've had one reading, awesome, Susan, and want to explain more. Well, you're in the right place. You are absolutely in the right place. So let's get started here. And let me get myself organized. All right, so now that we've got a few more people arriving, then let's absolutely get started. So I'm really, really thrilled that so many people signed up for this masterclass, because really the Akashic Records is an absolute gift to be able to empower your life, to be able to really form a deep connection with your soul and your higher self. In all my years of, studying and practicing many, many healing modalities, I felt like the Akashic Records was the most powerful way for me to develop that relationship with my inner power. And it's interesting how we have this destabilization going in the world right now. Absolutely, there is that goes without saying that is happening. It can be affecting people in so many different ways. I know for many people, many of my past students and in other programs that I run, there's this sense of kind of flipping a lot. So just give me a shout out if you're experiencing that, going from this incredible feeling of bliss or happiness or joy, and then flipping, into shadow or flipping into fear. There's a lot of that collective energy going on in the world right now. And so this kind of flipping can be really destabilizing. And this current collective narrative that's going on in the world absolutely is so much a part of that, absolutely is contributing to that flipping. Yep, I'm getting the fear flipping. Yeah, absolutely. And I would say that that's just really normal if you're in a kind of conscious awareness state. Yeah, if you're really working with your shadow, I would say that that awareness of flipping is probably healthy to notice it, like it's not a negative thing. Yes, and anxiety, absolutely anxiety for sure. And so I also want to say that counter to that, we have this kind of fear and this darkness and this collective narrative going on right now, but then also from more of a meta point of view, more from a point of view of solar flares, of energetic light codes, right, coming in from higher source, literally coming in from the universe. They are so powerful right now. The light that is streaming in from the universe, the codes, the solar flares, I mean, it's like in all my years of studying this and being in this in 20 years, I have never seen the exquisiteness of it and the absolute power of it. And so what I want to say to you is that is just as destabilizing to your body and your mind and emotions if you really don't know how to kind of anchor that, ground that, embody that. So when you really learn to channel and when you really learn to access the power of your Akashic records, you have the ability to be able to receive those immense light codes that are coming in right now and to be able to receive them, ground them, and embody them. Yeah, so just wanted to start with that as an introduction to, and just to kind of give you an overall view of where we're kind of at on the planet right now. So as we go through this next hour or so, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Akashic records. Yes, of course. And I am going to give you some tools of how to access it. Please feel free to shout out. Please feel free to interact. That's what I ask of you as, we go through this information. We're also going to do an activation to really open that channel. I'm going to leave that open just to let the vibe and the essence of the group come through. We'll see what, we're drawn to do in that activation. It's really good to be in this now moment with this now group with it. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about my course for those of you who are interested in that. So, sound good, everybody? Brilliant. Okay. All right, beautiful. So this human experience that we're having really is absolutely an odyssey for the soul. That this kind of, this sort of sense that we're here as a human, we have this other side of us, we have this more eternal side of us, we have this side of us that is absolutely connected to the divine, and that is our soul. And it's actually our soul having this odyssey in this human experience, in this body, in this lifetime. And I think it's really beautiful to kind of understand that this is just one odyssey. This is just one adventure of the soul, a pretty epic one in 2020 and 2021. And certainly an epic one to really start to form a relationship with this endless part of you, with this eternal part of you, with this divine part of you. Because as we start to do that, we start to have this ability to be able to see this odyssey as an experience, and it becomes a whole lot less painful. Yeah. So the Akashic records then becomes this bridge between your human self and your soul self, right? We're our soul first and foremost. Absolutely. Yeah. And in this life really is an opportunity for the soul to know itself and to experience itself, and for that soul to become even closer to the creator state, even closer to source state or God, whatever, whatever language resonates with you. And the Akashic records, what they are is a compendium of all human events, thoughts, words, emotions, even intention that has occurred past, present, and future. Yep. So they're believed to be, I know them to be, that they are encoded in this non-physical plane of reality. Yeah. And the brilliant thing about this aspect of them being this encoded, they having encoded all past, present, and future, is that, you know, you have this ability, therefore, to be able to tap into that memory bank, that information bank that has encoded all of your soul's odysseys, all of your soul's incarnations. Yeah. And, you know, when we kind of perhaps have like a psychic reading or something like that, the Akasha can be tapped into, because what essentially is doing is you're tapping into the intention of that particular person. Yeah. And so the way that I really embody and teach the Akashic records is not so much about, you know, kind of future forecasting. It's really much more about, first of all, this healing aspect. Yeah, being able to tap into particular points in that soul history, whether it's a past life. Well, I don't really like calling it a past life. It's a parallel life. Yeah, because time doesn't exist in the Akashic records. And to really see how, we're going to talk about time in a little bit later on, to really see how we can go to that event and we can heal it from the point of creation so that it doesn't keep reoccurring. So time is a very, very exciting part of the Akashic records. So this kind of understanding that it is, you know, all of the memory, not only of our own self, obviously, but other souls as well, but then also the memory and the information of practically anything. Yeah, of practically anything, like countries, like the universe itself, right? So it's this vast information bank, this vast information bank. And what we therefore can access as well is this creator state of ours. Yeah, often we kind of think when we're tapping into a modality or a healing modality like the Akashic records, that we're tapping into an ability to be able to resolve and dissolve trauma or pain. But actually, essentially, the essence of the Akasha is really omnipresent love. Yeah, it's this exquisite love. And so what we are essentially really tapping into is this sense of our soul, is this sense of divinity, and memories of where we've had in many odysseys of our soul, exquisite lives, empowered lives, wonderful lives. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of give you that balance there to really help you understand. So everybody with me here, how's everybody going? Yeah, good. Thanks. Beautiful. Thanks, Sylvia. So the actual word Akasha is it's a Sanskrit word, and it actually means ether. And that ether, basically ether, what ether is an omnipresent principle. Yeah. So ether, you know, if you think about the word ether, ether is everywhere. It's this omnipresent principle. And I love how the Vedic yogics talk about how we actually have 6 senses. Yeah, we don't actually have 5, right? So, you know, as we've got sight, touch, taste, smell, sound, hearing. And in this 6th sense, what it actually talks about is that we have this insight, this intuition. Yeah, intuition being this 6th sense. So just as, you know, you might have your taste associated with the body part of the mouth, or smell with the nose, the 6th sense is associated with our 3rd eye. Yeah, this insight, this inner vision. in it's our sense that we're able to tap into this ether. We're able to tap into this omnipresent ether, this omnipresent Akasha, this compendium of information. Yeah. And I would love you to just consider, like, imagine if, you know, we go to school and we're taught about these 5 senses. Just imagine if we were taught that this 6th sense was actually our first sense. And we have the ability to tap in at any point to this divine compendium of information and wisdom. We have the ability to tap into this conversation with our soul. What a very different world we would live in if we just added this knowledge, this ability to be able to open our third eye, to be able to tap into this omnipresent principle of love. Yeah, it's really exciting. And when you learn how to access the Akashic records, what we're learning to do is to be able to tap into your intuition, tap into that inner vision, that insight. And to be able to really make contact with this kind of cosmic intelligence, which is able to access and give us guidance on wisdom on almost anything. So it would be a very different world. And as we entrain this third eye to really sense this omnipresent principle, we entrain our whole being into the frequency of love, and therefore the frequency of living into this 5th dimensional consciousness. Yeah, which is, as a world, as we're going through this collective dark night of the soul right now on the planet, really this is the opportunity for us to awaken through that shadow and for us to step into this 5th dimensional consciousness. Yeah. And as we really kind of integrate this aspect, integrate this ability to have this vision, to tap into this omnipresent principle, what we're essentially doing is developing a relationship with our higher self, developing our multi-dimensional abilities. Yeah. So I find that really exciting, because having a relationship with your higher self truly is one of the most empowering relationships that you can formulate for yourself. Yeah, because really that then allows you to step out of giving your power away. That allows you to stop this cycle of disempowerment, that allows you to literally become your own best coach, your own best guru, if you like. Yeah, so developing this intimate relationship with your inner self, and that being the source of guidance, yeah, to take you where you need to go in this life, to solve the problems, yeah, to help you have this really on point discernment system, yeah, to have your instincts absolutely in relation with this higher self. It's truly a superpower. Yeah. So the Akasha is vast. Yeah, as you can see, it's this omnipresent principle, this omnipresent kind of love. It's vast. And I love this kind of understanding that, you know, Irvin Laszlo, who is this brilliant Akashic records, he's written many books if you want to look him up. It's a very, very sciencey approach. So if you're not kind of a sciencey sort of person, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But this idea that all perceptible matter is born out of the Akasha. Yeah. So everything that we see is born out of this cosmic intelligence, this divine intelligence. And so if it's so vast, then, you know, how do we access our particular records? Yeah. So our particular records within the Akasha are held in a vibratory state in that Akasha. Yeah. So how do you find it? How do you open and find your particular records? Well, There's many ways, there's many keys, there's many methods, there's many principles, and we're going to touch on many of those tonight. So your own particular Akashic records are held within a higher frequency band than this third dimensional consciousness. Yeah. And in a sense, we really don't kind of travel to the records. What we do is we become a vibratory match to meet and receive the wisdom and the divine guidance of the records. And herein lies what I love, 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 love about the Akashic records, because essentially when you learn to access them, what you are doing is you are learning to raise your vibration. You're upgrading your entire life, your energy body, your emotional body, your mental body, your causal body. Yeah, all of those bodies you're upgrading to become a vibrational match to read the records. So just breathe that in. Yeah, just allow yourself to kind of just ground for a moment. Just breathe in and drop into that. Yeah, that incredible compendium, that incredible system of knowledge, of wisdom, yeah, of upgrades. All right, so are there any questions so far? I'm going to now tap into some of the principles of the Akashic records. And let me know if you have any questions thus far. Otherwise, we'll start to tap into what they are, these principles. You're doing good? All right, great. Well, let's get into it then. Okay. Now, as we're going through this, I really invite you to just be aware of your body. Just be aware, you know, have your feet flat on the ground if you're sitting in that position, or have your spine straight, you know, be relaxed and be aware of your breath. Because it's really important that as, you know, this compendium of knowledge and wisdom, as we talk about it, that you be aware of your body and just see if there are any pings or zings, because those are really great clues that your higher self is kind of chatting with you. Your higher self is giving you a nudge. Yeah. So just be aware of that. Keep breathing, keep allowing, keep receiving, opening the heart and being in this grounded, you know, receptive space. Okay, beautiful. Benita says, excited. Thank you. Yay, me too. All good so fast. Yeah, beautiful. Great. Awesome, guys and girls and beautiful souls. All right. So some of the principles of the Akashic records. So time. Yep. Time is a absolutely incredible aspect of the Akashic records, because time in the Akashic records doesn't work in the same way that it does in this dimensional consciousness. Yeah. So we, you know, when we're born into Earth, have this collective agreement that time works in this particular way. It's one of the agreements that we're born into as a human being on planet Earth. And, you know, in other dimensional realities, time doesn't have that collective agreement. Right? So time actually works very differently. And in the records, time literally just is. So let's take an example here. So let's say you open up the records for yourself or somebody else, a client, and they're having a particular issue that keeps coming up in their life, right? So they're having this issue of, let's say, relationships. Yeah, they're having these disempowered relationships continually turn up in their life. So essentially, when you open up the record of that soul, you can ask for information for that soul to be able to heal, guide. Take us to the point in this soul, in this soul's, you know, history of how we can allow that soul to really begin to heal that, begin to get some wisdom, divine guidance on it. So essentially, you've got that whole soul's information there in front of you. And what you can essentially be guided to is a number of things. You might be guided to an inner child event. You might be guided to a past life event. You might be guided to an ancestral event that was being passed down through that lineage of that ancestry of that soul. You might be, and I know this sounds really weird, but it's possible you might be directed to a future life. No. How does that work? Right? Because if time just is, and there's no past, present, future in the Akashic records, then, you know, your future lives, decisions that you've made in your future lives can actually affect this life. Yeah, I know it's like, but, you know, if we just accept it and use it as a modality for that person to be able to resolve that. What the exciting thing is that easily within the records, you can be taken to that point, right? And therefore then heal it from the point of creation. Heal it from the point of creation, which is really exciting. So time, you know, and you can do all sorts of funky things with time in the records. You can collapse timelines that are no longer serving that person. You know, essentially what happens when we have these timelines of repetition, right? And give me a shout out if you really kind of resonate with this, like you feel like you've resolved an issue and then yet it keeps kind of reoccurring for you, right? So that can essentially, when we have an event that has really impacted our life, what happens is on a consciousness level is that we create a timeline through the emotional response we have to that event. Yeah, and that emotional response that we have, it drops anchor into our consciousness. So if you if you think of yourself as, you know, this divine soul, as this divine spark of God, then really how consciousness works is this free flow. Yeah, we're just flowing. There's no interruption. And so when that happens, we're on this timeline of flow. And how good does that feel? Right? That's when we're truly, you know, happy, we're in our joy, life is flowing, we're in our genius zone. An event happens and that, you know, potentially traumatic or troubling event, what happens is we'll have an emotional response to it, and that emotional response won't be resolved. So then that becomes a loop in our consciousness where we keep looping around that emotion that we've dropped anchor on. We may, you know, forget the actual event, but the actual emotion, because it hasn't been resolved yet, what will happen is we'll keep, cycling around. And that then can become a master timeline for that person where we're experiencing time, through that emotion. We're experiencing time through that old event that we haven't resolved. Yeah, so essentially what we're doing is we're just regurgitating the past. We're not living in this now moment. Yep, so when you go into the Akashic records, you have the ability to be able to, you know, go to that point of creation. Now, wherever that, I'm going into quite a lot of detail here, but wherever that soul is at, wherever that particular human is at, you may have to do quite a few you know, inner child and ancestral or past or parallel life. You might have to do a few, or it may be resolved in one. So just wanted to give you, you know, an aspect of how time really works in the Akashic records. It's pretty awesome. Can and how do you break the loop? Yeah, awesome question. So can and how, absolutely you can break the loop. Yeah, you can break the loop. So when you do an Akashic Records healing for somebody, essentially there's a number of processes that you can do. We're getting into a lot of detail here, but essentially you're going to be given two ways for that to, well, there's any number of ways that that event can be resolved. Okay, so when you go into the records, you're going to be given wisdom guidance. Yeah, and they're going to be coming from your Akashic record keeper, multi-dimensional guides, or your higher self. Yeah, or, you know, the ascended masters of the Akashic records. So that's going to come through as an information to help you move through it. Okay. And they also may guide you to particular processes to do. Yeah. Where you will go to that particular traumatic event. Yeah. And you will, there'll be some sort of process that you will be guided to do. That when you're first beginning is very difficult to do for yourself. Yeah. In my particular practitioner course, I actually have quite a few scripts that I have been given as guidance on things that, you know, we all suffer from, things that we've all had trauma around, and that might be mother and father wounds, that might be ancestral wounds. Yeah, and those particular processes are about healing it from that point of creation. Yeah. The other way in which then that gets healed is this sense of frequency and healing vibration. So that emotional event, that emotional consciousness then also has an effect on the body, right? We may store it in particular parts of the body. It may be stored in the heart, may be stored in the solar plexus, may be stored in a number of different places in the body. And I absolutely love this aspect of the Akashic records. So when you learn how to go into the Akashic records in the particular way that I teach it, is you learn how to become a channel for healing frequencies. And when you learn how to become a channel for healing frequencies, essentially what you're going to do is you're going to allow those frequencies. They may come through as light. They may come through as color. They may come through as a vibration. They may come through as sound. They may come through as a ray. They may come through as a code. You're going to learn how to channel that and allow that to go into that particular body part in order for that body part to become whole and healed. So, Benita, I hope that gives you a little bit of a taste test of how that works when you're in the records. Yeah, you've got this kind of twofold system of wisdom, guidance, processes to address that particular event. And then you've got this healing frequency that is then allowing the body and embodying that, that flow of consciousness, allowing the body to become pure light. Yeah, that there's no interruption. So that particular trauma in that body is then released, opened up, and the flow of consciousness, the flow of light can move through that body. Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so the other thing I want to talk about, seeing as we've now touched on it, is multidimensional guidance. Yeah, so, you know, I spoke just before about ascended masters. I spoke about your Akashic record keeper. So essentially what we're talking about here is spirit guides, guidance that we may not, that are not, you know, in this kind of human three-dimensional form. And I want to really talk about this from the context of that there is as many, you know, multidimensional spirit guidance on the other side, yeah, if we want to call it that, as there are on the human side, you know, 7-8 billion of us. And so that spirit world is just as crowded as, you know, this human world, if not more. And there's this real trend right now to be channeling Pleiadians and Arcturians and Lyrians and Syrians and Ascended Masters and et cetera, et cetera. And that's really beautiful. Like it's a wonderful thing to be able to do that. However, what I want to say is that just because they are beings or spirit guides, it doesn't mean that they have the best divine soul guidance for you. Yeah. What we really need to do is we really need to develop this discernment system, develop this ability to really kind of understand who was really there for our soul, for our highest good, and for the good of everybody. Yeah. And there's particular methodologies that go with that. There's particular languaging. But what I want to really touch on is that when you really upgrade your frequency and when you really are accessing the records from an 8th dimensional frequency or above, then you can absolutely be trusting that you are accessing guidance that is of the highest level. You're accessing guidance that is of pure love, pure light, yeah, and has your absolute very best interests at heart. You know, we don't, you know, guidance can be dressed up. Absolutely it can. And, you know, that I just really want to kind of urge you to be discerning around that. And to have a proper system, a proper language, a proper ritual for being able to make sure that the guidance that you're talking to really is of God's plan, really is of this pure love. So you know, that takes me to this kind of other aspect of really we're accessing the records. When I teach people to access the records, yeah, you could access them from 5th dimensional frequency or above. However, you really want to access them when you first begin, I would say, in training your body to be able to access them 8th dimensional frequency and above. Yeah, to really make sure that you are really kind of getting this very, very pureness, this very pure light. And this then takes me to the other point that there's such this trend around, you know, being able to access beings and multidimensional guidance. However, I want to say that the best relationship, I'm going to say this again and I'm going to drive it home again, the best relationship to form is with your higher self. Yeah, because that is very empowering. And I often think that when people feel like they're accessing particular guidance, they're actually accessing their higher self. They're actually talking to the higher self. And if time doesn't exist in the same way that it does here on planet Earth, then you can also be accessing the part of you that is already ascended. How cool is that? How awesome is that, right? That there is a fractal of you, there is a part of you that has already ascended. And being able to talk to that part of you, that is very empowering. So yeah, just give me a heads up if that kind of resonates and gives you a little ping or zing. It sure makes me very, very happy. All right, cool. So we're going to talk about some of the problems of accessing the Akashic records. So where you access the Akashic records, yeah, awesome, Amanda. Where you access the Akashic records is everything. Yeah, it's totally everything. And the higher the frequency, the better the level of information and guidance you're going to get. Yeah. So there's a very specific pathway that I teach to raise your frequency. And that's why studying the Akashic records can be an upgrade to your whole life. And it becomes this a place that you are continually evolving into. Now, the Akashic records, just like we're evolving, are also ever evolving and expanding, just like the universe is. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're evolving this body, this physical body, this biology. You're evolving your DNA, you're evolving your mindset, you're evolving your emotions, your beliefs. You're becoming a vibrational match to that unconditional love of the Akasha. Yeah. And the way that I teach that is, first of all, really somatically. I feel that the somatic approach for me was really, really powerful. I used to teach a lot of acting. I used to also be an actor. And one of the very deep processes of teaching acting is this ability to be able to literally step into the mind and consciousness and body of another person. And the way that you do that is through the body. Yeah. So this kind of somatic approach really allows your nervous system to be able to calm down enough to really learn how to absolutely upgrade the heart. Yeah. Allow the heart to open. Really allow that solar plexus to receive much more of your own personal power. You really begin to learn how to kind of open all of these upper chakras in this crown, this inner eye. And essentially that then becomes this ability for light to be able to free flow through the body without any places that it gets stagnant or stuck. And essentially then what happens is that these energy systems, these 7 chakras, and then the ones above the body, all become one column of light. They become this beautiful channel of light, which you then have the ability to kind of open and close with your intention. That divine source of grace and that divine source of love is always flowing. It's always available to us. And what we're learning to do is allowing the body to be able to learn how to open and receive it so that we can embody it. And embodiment really is the key thing here. For me, and one of the things that, I've done heaps and heaps of things over my 20 years. I've been a coach. I've taught people how to, do their soul branding. I still do business coaching. I've done a lot of kind of personal coaching of allowing people to step through, emotional blocks. As I said, I've done a lot of heart coherence and Joe Dispenza. This aspect of being able to take people through a somatic upgrade and also take people on multidimensional journeys was something that I really understood and learnt when I opened up the Akashic records. So to give you an understanding of how I came across the Akashic records was through reading Irvin Laszlo, was through reading Linda Howe's books. And Linda Howe is obviously an incredible teacher of the Akashic records. And she has a prayer process. And that prayer process, you say a prayer and then you set the intention and open up the Akashic records. Now, I'm a very kind of, I am a very feeling type of person. Yeah, I'm very kinesthetic. And for me, the prayer process I didn't find that I had a powerful ability to open the Akashic records and to be really deep in there with the prayer process. Learning, so when I really started to learn how to do a lot of heart coherence, did a lot of energetic work, I did many, many Vipassana meditation retreats, where you're learning how to have this free flow of energy through the body. I put together the knowledge of opening the Akashic records with this pathway through the body, and the ability then was just increased tenfold. It was so beautiful because I found that I embodied the energy. I embodied that love frequency of the Akasha. And therefore, then that becomes an empowered living experience. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a background. I've been teaching the Akashic records for 5 years and accessing it, for 10. And, the upgrades that I see people go through is so exciting. It truly, truly is. I really feel like I'm home, to be honest. I really feel like I'm sitting in the pocket of my soul purpose. Like, this is absolutely what I'm here to do and what I'm meant to be doing. And I can tell you that ability to be able to open the records whenever I need to, whenever I need that support, whenever I need that guidance, is just like having this, it's like having your soul so close to you. It's being like truly being in an exquisite, loving relationship with yourself that you can absolutely rely on, this sense of kind of flailing, this sense of panic, this sense of not trusting in oneself, that no longer is there. Yeah, I just have this deep sense of trust for myself, for life, for where I'm going. And, it's pretty exquisite. So I often talk about it being being the alchemist of the soul. You end up having this ability to take that lead, to take that shadow and to turn it into gold, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my course. We give an example of how to access them like a taster. Yeah, absolutely. We can do that in the activation if you like, Catherine. We can absolutely do that in the activation. It's better to have it as a experiential experience rather than, me just kind of telling you. So we'll do that. Awesome. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my course and then we'll do the activation. Okay. So great. So a little bit about my course is that the first aspect that I just spoke about is we really entrain this body to be able to embody more light, to be able to channel more light. And we do that through upgrading the chakras. We do that through many activations, meditations. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And we also raise the frequency of your matter through working with this ascension column. Yeah, through working with upgrading this ascension column, which is essentially all of those chakras. We really learn how to work with your soul star chakra, which is the place where matter and soul meet. So that's about a foot above your head. And you can actually learn how to ground. Many people talk about grounding into the earth. That's wonderful. That's something that is very, very important. But you can actually also learn how to ground into your soul star chakra and actually see through the eyes of your soul star. And it really gives you an absolutely brilliant perspective on the world. So we work a lot with the soul star. We also attune your energy to all the different dimensions, first, second, third, right up to the 9th dimension. Yeah, because those dimensions all have different frequencies. Those dimensions all have a lot of wisdom and understanding for us. So we learn how to basically map the cosmos, I call it, mapping the cosmos through attuning our energy to different dimensions. We learn how to develop your clairs. So really learning, whether, you might have you might have already one clair that's already turned on. You might find that you're kinesthetic or clairaudient. So really learning to really step into that in a bigger way, increasing it, and then bringing the other clairs on board so that when you're in the records, that you learn how to follow that clair. And then once you're really established with learning how to read through the body, or you might read through vision or inner knowing or hearing, then you begin to bring on other clairs to add to how you are navigating the records. We work with your mindset. Absolutely, because with all these upgrades, the ego is going to do its lovely natural job of going, no, I can't handle this. Yeah, this is too much. This is too much change. Yep. So the ego, we're going to learn how to really work with our wonderful, beautiful ego, make her feel safe, make her feel like this is the one, wonderful thing to do. Make that inner child feel like this is an adventure to go on that is going to be good for every aspect of ourselves, and just learning practices around that loving reassurance and that nurturing, so that you eventually entrain that ego to come along the ride with any change work that you do without sabotaging you. We do this beautiful Akashic initiation ceremony, and that ceremony really initiates you into the lineage that I teach, which is this very somatic lineage. I'll work with my particular guides that will initiate you. And yeah, it's a really exciting process, and one where we really talk about the reverence that it takes to be a record keeper, what it takes to be a custodian of the records, what it takes to be a multi-dimensional librarian. Yeah. So that it's really important to me that we have this respect and this reverence for the work that we're doing, and we absolutely take that exquisitely on board as something that we are going to uphold. I have a 22-step method for accessing the records. Now, I don't want you to freak out and think 22 steps. How am I ever going to learn that? It's essentially just a way for you to begin. And those 22 steps are really steps through the body. And this is really important because when we learn, like to say, to drive, there's all these things we've got to remember, right? But it becomes an unconscious competence after a while, and we don't have to even think about those steps. And it'll essentially just become something automatic, which your body, takes over and does, and takes you into the records. And and those 22 steps, they'll be reduced to probably half of that. But it's a really good place to start. And I have that as a recording, so that you can do that as many times as you like, and you'll always have that guidance to be taken into the records. Yeah, when you feel like you don't particularly have the focus to do it for yourself. We learn how to read for others. And that's a wonderful process. And I feel like that's where people become really empowered with the records. And whether or not you want to do that as, a modality in what you're already doing, if you're already a healer to some description or a coach, or whether you just want to do it to enhance your ability to read your own records, reading for others is absolutely a very empowering way to increase your relationship with the Akashic records, because it's the way in which we serve that we grow. And it's like anything, we really trust. we don't trust ourselves as we trust our ability to give. Like, giving to ourselves is less trustworthy somehow when we begin than giving to another. Yeah. So it's a beautiful way to deepen your relationship with the Akashic records. And you'll learn how to channel guidance and wisdom. You'll learn the many processes that I have for collapsing certain timelines or events in people's lives. And you'll also learn how to channel frequency. And then there'll be lots of practice sessions where you get to practice. It's 7 weeks. We begin in 2 weeks. It's partly live. It's partly recorded. It's just 7 weeks of life transforming, multidimensional, cosmic consciousness fun. So if anybody has any questions, we might save those to the end. Let's get into the journey. because we've only got 5 minutes to go, and we're going to go overboard. So look, if you need to go, you will be sent the recording if you want to go back and do the journey then. And if not, stay on and let's do the journey together. So what we're going to do, let's just tune in here. Yeah, absolutely. I'll put the link at the end, Silvana. I'll put the link for the course, and I'll also tell you the price and all of that after we've done the activation. So just tuning in here. Yeah, we won't do a full on opening of the records, but we'll do a process that'll take us higher dimensionally. And I'm really feeling a lot of heart. Let's work with the heart today as an upgrade. And, you know, the heart is one of the energy centers that gets a big workout in learning how to access the Akashic records, because the heart can really take us anywhere. You know, there's nowhere the heart can't go. So it's a huge portal for multidimensional consciousness. So let's do that. So I'm going to put some music on. Gorgeous. So it's just going to start here. And before we start, I'm just going to turn it down. That seems quite loud. Could somebody just give me a heads up that the volume is good if I'm talking at this level, if it's not too loud, if it's not too quiet? Just give me a heads up so we get it right and we have a beautiful journey today. Awesome. Thanks, Leah. It's good for me. Great. Bonita says she can't hear me. Okay, I'll move my microphone closer. Sounds a little weird. My microphone closer. And I'll just turn it down a bit so that my voice is the dominant. Great. Beautiful. All right, everybody. So closing your eyes. And just feeling your feet on the ground. And taking a deep breath in through the stomach. And allowing yourself to let go. Allowing this to be a moment in time that you give to yourself. A moment in time where you don't hold back. So allowing the spine to be straight. And the hands to be facing upwards and open. And your legs. And as you begin to breathe, just softening and letting go. Deepening the breath. Inviting the breath to become your focus. If you feel that you may be holding on anywhere, just sending the breath to that part of the body and allowing it to soften that part of the body, allowing that body to let go, let go, let go. And there's nothing else to do except to breathe. Adjust the body in order for that breath to let go. and soften. Allowing that breath to come into the heart in front of you, behind you. 360 degrees of breath coming into the heart. Opening, setting the intention, it is safe for me to open my heart. And as you continue to breathe through the heart, just calling in your higher self. I call forth my higher self. And often when I work with this heart intelligence that we have, Archangel Chamuel really come to assist us. Their frequency and loving energy is really here to support. Really opening your heart today, really having that trust that it's safe to open your heart. That it's safe to invite in more of this multi-dimensional loving guidance. So coming now to the crown chakra and just sensing that on top of the crown chakra is this golden sun. And this golden sun just allows that crown chakra to open. Like you can imagine the petals of a lotus really opening. And as that crown chakra opens, we now become aware of this source light, this flow of grace, this golden column of light that really descends from the central sun. Breathe into that golden column of light and allow it to open the crown. As you sense this flow of source light energy. And as you breathe into that golden column of light, it moves through that central column in you, down through the heart, opening the heart, softening through that solar plexus, through the base chakra, through the legs and into the earth. Breathing into that column of light. Just really getting a sense that it's safe to be a conduit for this energy. Safe to be a conduit of this pure source light energy. And if you wish to increase it, you can really use your breath. Beautiful, everybody. Coming to the soul star chakra, so that's just about a foot above the crown. And setting the intention, I now access my soul star chakra. I now activate it. Coming into the awareness of the soul star, put all your awareness there. Again, this golden sun. as you activate that soul star, just allowing that source light energy to touch it and increase that flow, increase the brightness, increase the brilliance, allowing it now to descend, to flood down. Descends through that crown, through the heart, through the legs, through the feet into the earth. Keep breathing, keep allowing, keep opening. I am fully protected. I'm fully guided by my higher self. To the third eye now, and putting your attention there, putting your intention there. Just seeing an amethyst crystal. A luminous crystal of light. White crystal light. In that third eye, that using that crystal to open. Breathing into that third eye and allowing that third eye to open. If at any point that becomes a little lightheaded or overwhelming, then just ground that, connect that to your feet, connect it to the earth. Just getting a sense that that crystal is pulsating with light, allowing that third eye to open. Beautiful. And just connecting that to that source flow. Allowing it all to become one flow. Don't try and control or manage, just to breathe into it and allow that to happen. And now connecting that third eye to the crown. So we're going to set pulse of light from third eye to crown as we really begin to activate all these upper chakras. We're going to connect to the Alta Major chakra, which really helps stabilize our nervous system. And that is at the base, the top of the spine, where the spine and the head meet. So just putting your attention there and breathing into it. Allowing that source light to flow into that Alta Major, sometimes called the mouth of God, or where God enters. Now we're going to connect those three chakras, Alta Major, third eye crown, seeing this triangle that connects them, this triangle that pulsates in light. Light travels along all sides of that triangle as those three centers begin to communicate. Those those deeply intuitive centers. Breathing into that, breathing, using the breath to allow it to focus. Beautiful. And coming back to the heart now, and using all of that incredible light that we've generated, breathing it into the heart. Breathing one layer of the heart awake. And breathing into the next layer of the heart, going deeper, setting the intention that I go deeper into my heart. Breathing into the next layer of the heart. One more time, breathing into the next layer of the heart, going deeper. It is safe to access the portal of my heart. Getting the sense now that this archangel, this beautiful archangel Shamuel, this incredible multi-dimensional being is standing both front and back of your heart and sending through this pulse, this frequency of unconditional love. Allowing the heart to really begin to respond to that in an organic way, in a way that feels comfortable, in a way that feels integral. As you breathe into the heart, allowing that heart to open and to expand, almost as if you're beginning to become your heart. We're going to connect our heart now with the heart of the earth. So grounding that. Finding the heartbeat of the earth. And matching our heartbeat with the earth. Just breathing together as one with the earth. Beautiful, and coming back now to your heart and connecting again with that golden column of light. Connecting with that source consciousness. As it flows through you, through that soul star, through that crown. We're going to travel upwards now, higher dimensionally. I'm going to go through that golden column of light. So moving upwards now through that golden column of light. As you set the intention to take your body with you. As we move through the fourth dimension, traveling upwards in our consciousness, but taking our body with me as we raise our frequency. Feeling fully supported by your higher self. Going up through that fifth dimensional stargate now, easily and effortlessly setting your intention. Breathing through the body, through that golden column of light, breathing through that sixth dimensional gateway. Setting the intention, I move through the seventh dimensional gateway. Feeling that flow of source-like consciousness. Moving through that eighth dimensional gateway. Feeling fully supported. Calling in any high vibrational guidance now. Beautiful, everyone. If it feels quite high vibrational, then at any time, just feel your feet on the ground, feel yourself grounding, connecting to this high vibration. Staying with the body and sensing now, feeling, knowing or imagining that you're in a great vast hall filled with books. Just getting a sense of this incredible, omnipresent love that is available. Coming off one of those shelves floats a book. It's a book of your soul. We're just going to ask for one simple word or sentence today. Just one simple word or sentence. So whenever you're ready, reach out and take that book and open the page, and it might be a word, it might be a sentence, or it might just be a frequency or feeling. Just breathing that into your heart. Trusting, allowing. And just putting that book on the shelf whenever you're ready. Just asking for any extra support or guidance to come through. sense of a feeling in your body or a color, a crystal, vibration or a light, or a sound. It's breathing that into the body, accepting, receiving. Just giving thanks for that now, coming into a place of gratitude as we start to come out of that consciousness, out of that dimension. Out of that immense fall, coming back down through that 7th dimensional gateway into that column of light.
Battery Bluetooth mode. Waiting for connection.
Dimensional gateway into the 5th. Really reconnecting with that soul star chakra and seeing your body, seeing yourself, seeing the perspective from your soul star as you anchor in that consciousness and that awareness of where soul and matter meet. Coming into the heart now, coming into the body, breathing through the heart, coming into the frequency of gratitude, feeling your feet on the ground, breathing deeply into the earth, pulling up that grounding, nourishing energy of the earth as you're fully back in the body, fully back in your new environment, back in this new body, back in this new timeline. And just seeing from that solar plexus this flow of this new timeline, this flow of energy, this flow of consciousness spiraling out in front of you. Breathing into that flow. Allowing the body to move organically. Yeah, you might feel that your toes want to move, your fingers or your hands, your spine. Just allowing the body to move organically as you really embody all of that. As you come back into this awareness, ready to open your eyes, ready to begin this new timeline. Okay, everybody, welcome back. Just let me know how you're all doing. Beautiful, Sylvana. Great. I'm so happy to hear you had a wonderful experience. That was a great journey. Awesome, Leanne. Beautiful guidance. Loved it. Awesome, Alyssa. Yay. Yay, yay, yay to all you beautiful souls. It was so wonderful to be in that collective energy with you. Yes, you're very welcome, Caroline and Benita. So we're absolutely gone so over time, but this is the way that sometimes it flows with this, exciting body of information of the Akashic records. And I want to end by letting you know that, truly to come together and entrain our bodies, entrain our mind, and train ourselves together is really such a beautiful passage through this collective dark night of the soul that's going on in the planet right now. And doing it together is such a wonderful way to awaken and wonderful way to, really develop this guidance of your own soul, really develop this guidance of your higher self, and navigate this tumultuous terrain so that you can really anchor in your part to play, how you're going to contribute to the grid of the collective grid of evolution right now. Yeah, the collective grid of light. And it's my belief that there are two collective timelines right now, on a global scale. And one of those timelines really is this kind of scary thought that this could be the descent for humanity that we're seeing being played out right now. But I actually also much more vastly believe that there is this other timeline that is really the awakening of humanity and this ascension of humanity and this potential for humanity to evolve into a whole absolute, almost new species, almost crystalline human. Yeah, that this duality consciousness, this polarity doesn't exist anymore. And that's the timeline that I'm contributing to. And so I ask you, where is it that you are? Is it this, are we going to remain in victim, or are we going to step into this creator consciousness? Yeah, beautiful, Caroline. And I'd say that this course, isn't for the absolute beginner in terms of consciousness. I would say it's for those that are really ready to look at their wounds, and when I say beginner, I mean somebody who perhaps doesn't even know what intuition is, or somebody who hasn't ever done a meditation, or that's what I mean by complete beginner. Yeah. But it is definitely for those that are really ready to look at their wounds. It's definitely those that want to have that courageous spirit to open up to ever more higher aspects of themselves and to step into their power as a healer for themselves, but also for others as well. And you could absolutely learn the Akashic records through a book. And there are obviously other online courses out there. I'm not sure, but I'm sure there are. But I really believe that doing this collectively together is, and you're all here, right? So, you're obviously drawn to whatever this collective container is. I really feel like doing it in a live group and going through a journey together is just such an empowering, exciting way. And you form these incredible relationships with people, an incredible community that you essentially have for many, many years as a support system. And it's really crucial also to have a map, so that when you do get stuck, that you've got that access to that map, you've got that access to that support system. And the cost of the course is $1,500, that's Australian dollars. And I do have an early bird price though, and that early bird price is $1,222. And that is going to be open for another 24 hours, that early bird price. And the course starts on October the 15th. Is the first live round. How it works is we have a portal, and that portal is what happens is we've got lots of as soon as you sign up, you'll get access to intuition work. And that intuition bonus training allows you to really open up your intuition, increase your intuitive abilities. There's a dimension journey in there. There's activations in there. And so as soon as you sign up, you get access to all of this. And we have one recorded class a week that comes out at the beginning of the week. And then we have a live call at the end of the week, which is on a Friday morning for Australia time or US time. That is going to be Thursday evening. All classes are recorded as well, obviously, and you have it for life. Yeah, it's there for you for life, and you literally can do the course as many times as you want. So we do have students who repeat the course sometimes. Most of the time we have students repeat the advanced course as well. And I have, what else can I tell you? Yeah, so, you know, it's not for everybody. Absolutely, I know that, but I do know that this has been such a game changer for so many healers and so many individuals looking to totally move into their next level of ascension and evolution. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. That's beautiful. Yes, yes, it is all about the heart, and it is all about delivering from that place. And it is actually remembering who we are. You know, that's such a good point. You know, like essentially, I'm not teaching anything really new. I'm really teaching you how to remember your divinity and your power within that. And that's a beautiful thing. So I'll put the links in the chat for you now. And let me know any questions you have while I'm doing that. So here is the link if you'd like to go ahead and book. All you need to do when you go to the cart is type in early bird, and it will reduce it to that price for you. So I'll just put that in there for you, early bird. And you're very welcome, Leanne. And if you'd like to book a meeting with me to discuss anything else, or you have any other further questions, I can do that now. There's the meeting link. I could probably take a couple of meetings straight away now for the next hour. So if you wanted to book a meeting with me straight away and talk about anything further, feel free to go ahead and do that now. And let me know how you all went today, if you enjoyed it. See. Yes, I can absolutely send you the recording and the links via email. Beautiful. Thank you. You are very welcome, Dee. Yeah, so let me know if you have any other questions about the course. And we've got a beautiful tribe already for the course. Lots of amazing coaches and healers and individuals who, you know, are ready to explore their deep self. Alyssa, you're very welcome. Sylvana, thank you to you too. Yay. So I look forward to connecting. I really do. I feel like it was such a beautiful co-creation of energy today. Much love to you all. I look forward to connecting with you in the course if you choose to do that, or in the one-on-one meeting if you want to book a meeting with me. So yes, the early bird price is open for another 24 hours. Lots of love. Lots of love, beautiful souls. See you next time.